The spaceship floated silently above the green-blue planet of Xylar. Its hull shone under the twin suns, reflecting patterns of light that danced across the metal surface. Inside the medical bay, Docter Viral, a renowned alien doctor of the Xylari species, studied the human patient with wide, astonished eyes. Humans were rare visitors in this part of the galaxy, and even rarer were those who exhibited abilities that seemed impossible to any known alien science. The human, named Jason, lay on the biobed, breathing steadily but visibly tense. He had volunteered for what he believed was a routine medical examination before a diplomatic mission. The Xylari government, cautious and meticulous, required all species to undergo full physical assessments. But Jason had no idea that his very presence on Xylar would reveal something astonishing. Dr. Viral leaned closer, her four-fingered hands hovering above the scanning panel. She had studied countless species over her long career, but never had she encountered anything like this. As her sensors swept over Jason, readings spiked in ways that defied the laws of biology as the Xylari understood them. This cannot be," Viral murmured to herself, her antennae twitching nervously. "Humans are fragile, their systems are simple, yet—" She looked up at Jason, trying to hide her concern behind a calm expression. "Tell me, human, are you aware of any unusual abilities?" Jason shook his head, bewildered. "Abilities? No, I can run fast and survive in harsh conditions better than most, but that's all." He tried to sit up, but Viral gently pressed him back against the bed. "No, human, you do not understand. Your body, it reacts to stimuli in ways we cannot explain. Your strength, your endurance, your responses are beyond normal limits. This is not normal for your species." Jason frowned. "I don't get it. What do you mean by beyond normal limits?" Viral hesitated. It was difficult to explain without sounding like a child recounting a fairy tale. "Your body, it adapts rapidly. When you move, when you exert force, even when your mind focuses, your physical response is accelerated, extraordinary." Jason's brow furrowed. "You mean I'm stronger than normal?" "Stronger, yes. Faster, yes. But also your resilience, your ability to recover, it is unlike anything we have ever recorded." Viral adjusted her scanning device. The readings continued to spike erratically. For a moment, silence filled the room, except for the soft hum of the ship's life support systems. Jason looked down at his arms and legs, flexing them slightly. He didn't feel different, yet the numbers on Viral's screens painted a startling picture. "Does this happen to all humans?" Viral asked, her tone now tinged with curiosity. Jason shook his head again. "I don't know, maybe. I've never met another human like me outside of Earth, but I never noticed anything like this before." Viral tapped a few commands into the panel, bringing up charts and holographic diagrams. The patterns made her antennas shiver with excitement. "Your species, you possess something unique, something hidden even from yourselves. A resilience mechanism that activates under observation, under scrutiny, under pressure. It's as if your body senses danger or attention and adjusts immediately." Jason chuckled nervously. "So, I'm basically a superhuman." Viral gave a small, uncertain smile. "From our perspective, yes, but it is not just physical. Your neural pathways, your brain chemistry, all of it is synchronized in ways that allow you to outperform any being we have studied." Jason blinked. "Wow, that's, unexpected." Viral paused, unsure if she should proceed. The implications were enormous. If this ability could be understood, humanity could be a dominant force in the galaxy. Yet the secret might be impossible to harness, even for humans themselves. "We need to study this further," Viral said finally. "I must monitor your vital signs continuously for the next several cycles. It is for your safety and for science." Jason nodded. "Okay, I'll cooperate, but what exactly do you expect to find?" Viral hesitated. "I do not know. But the readings, they indicate that your body can adapt faster than any species we have ever encountered. You can endure more than your body should allow. Your reaction to stimuli is extraordinary." Jason swallowed hard, feeling a mix of pride and fear. Pride because he had never been remarkable in any way on Earth. Fear because he had no idea what these revelations would mean for him, or for the rest of humanity. As Viral adjusted the sensors on his arm, she could see subtle changes in Jason's body. His muscles tensed and relaxed, his heart rate stabilized rapidly, and even the oxygen levels in his blood adjusted at a pace that made her instruments nearly overload. It was a living miracle of biology. "Remarkable," she whispered. "Simply remarkable." Jason glanced at her, trying to read her expression. "Am I in danger?" "No, human, not danger, but you are unique. That uniqueness can be frightening to others, to my own people, if word spreads." Viral's antennae twitched nervously. "We must be careful." Jason felt a shiver run through him. "Careful about what?" "About you," Viral said softly. "Your abilities, they are unprecedented. You could be seen as a weapon, or as a savior, I do not know which." For the first time, Jason realized that being human in this vast galaxy carried far more weight than he had ever imagined. His species was fragile, yes, but in ways the aliens could not understand. Humans were also astonishingly resilient. Viral scans continued, and she watched with fascination as Jason's body adapted minute by minute. She made careful notes, her mind racing with the possibilities. Perhaps this human could survive extreme conditions. Perhaps he could outthink the most advanced alien warriors. Perhaps he could change the balance of power in the galaxy. Jason, meanwhile, was beginning to feel a strange connection to the alien doctor. Despite her calm professionalism, he could sense her awe, her curiosity, her genuine astonishment at what humans could do. And for the first time he felt proud, not as an individual but as a representative of his species. "Doctor," he asked quietly, "do you really think humans could compete with other species out here?" Viral studied him carefully. "I do not know, human. But if all humans are like you, perhaps you could." Jason laughed softly, shaking his head. "I guess I never thought about it that way." Viral smiled faintly. "Most humans do not, but the galaxy will teach you quickly. And you may teach the galaxy that humans are more than they appear." As the two of them continued their observations, the ship's lights reflected off the medical instruments, casting long shadows across the room. For Jason, the day had begun as a routine examination. For Viral, it had become a revelation that would challenge everything the Zalari knew about biology, resilience, and the untapped potential of humanity. And somewhere in the back of Jason's mind, a spark of realization grew. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries and dangers, but humans had something extraordinary, something no alien species could predict. And perhaps, just perhaps, that would be enough. Days passed aboard the Xylar research vessel, and Jason quickly adapted to life among the Zalari. Though their forms were strange, with long limbs and shining exoskeletons, their curiosity and intellect impressed him. But nothing impressed him more than the way Dr. Viral observed him, always noting tiny changes in his body, always amazed by how humans could adapt so quickly. The ship's mission was to chart new planets for possible colonization and diplomacy. Humans were rare in this sector, but Jason had been sent as an ambassador, representing Earth in this expanding part of the galaxy. He had expected cultural briefings, trade negotiations, and peaceful first contacts. Instead, he became the subject of an unprecedented biological study. One morning, as the twin suns of Xylar rose in the sky outside the vessel's panoramic window, Viral approached Jason with an unusual request. "Human, I wish to test your capabilities under controlled conditions," she said, her antennas quivering with professional excitement. "Your body reacts differently to stress, to challenge. I need to understand this fully." Jason frowned. "Controlled conditions, you mean like training?" "Yes, but with precision. No harm will come to you. We are scientists, not warriors. Still, I need to push your limits to see how your body manages extreme scenarios." Jason hesitated. He didn't like the idea of being tested like an experiment, but curiosity and a desire to prove the human species pushed him to agree. "Okay, I'll do it." Viral led him to a large training chamber deep inside the ship. The walls shimmered with energy fields, and holographic projections of terrain appeared across the floor. Mountains, rivers, forests, they were all simulations, yet they seemed real enough to trigger instinctive reactions. "The chamber will create obstacles, hazards, and environmental stress," Viral explained. "Your goal is to navigate it successfully. I will monitor your vitals and adapt the conditions dynamically. Think of it as a challenge." Jason stepped inside, feeling a mix of excitement and tension. The holographic environment shifted instantly. Towering cliffs appeared, icy winds blew, and simulated predators roared in the distance. He took a deep breath and began to move. Immediately, his body reacted. His legs adjusted to the icy slopes with perfect balance. His arms found holds on the cliffs without slipping, and his breathing remained steady despite the cold. Viral's sensors recorded rapid adaptation, far beyond what any alien had seen. As he ran, jumped, and climbed through the simulation, Jason realized something remarkable. Every instinct he had ever developed as a human, running, climbing, surviving, combined into a fluid, natural response. His mind calculated paths, his muscles anticipated the environment, and his endurance never faltered. Viral observed in awe. "Incredible," she whispered. "He adapts instantaneously. Not only his muscles, but his nervous system. Everything is synchronized. No species we know can do this." Hours passed, yet Jason showed no signs of fatigue. He scaled cliffs, swam through holographic rivers, dodged simulated predators, and even solved complex environmental puzzles in the simulation. Each success was recorded and analyzed by Viral, who became increasingly fascinated by the human capacity to thrive under pressure. At one point, the simulation introduced a sudden hazard, a collapsing cliff section combined with a flood of icy water. Jason's body reacted before his mind could consciously process it. He leaped, twisted midair, and landed safely on solid ground. Even Viral gasped at the speed and precision of his movements. You are extraordinary," she said. Her voice trembled slightly, not with fear but with admiration. "Your body and mind, they function as one. Humans may appear weak, but you possess an adaptability unlike anything in the galaxy." Jason stopped for a moment, drenched and panting. I didn't even think about it. It just happened." "That is the key," Viral replied. "Your instincts, your biology, your resilience, they operate without conscious effort. Humans may seem fragile, but you are capable of things no alien species can achieve consciously." As the days continued, Viral expanded the tests. She introduced low-gravity environments, high radiation zones, and complex mental challenges alongside physical trials. Every time, Jason's body and mind adapted almost instantly. He was never faster, stronger, or smarter in ways that could be measured traditionally. He was exceptional in how naturally and efficiently he overcame challenges. Meanwhile, word of Jason's abilities began to spread discreetly among the ship's crew. Many Zelari were skeptical of humans' capabilities, assuming them weak and fragile, but witnessing Jason's trials changed their opinions. Some watched from observation decks, whispering in awe. "He is not like other humans," one said. "Perhaps they are underestimated." Jason, unaware of the whispers, focused on each challenge. Each test became a lesson, not only in physical skill but in trust and teamwork. He learned to navigate alien technologies, solve engineering problems, and even mediate conflicts among the crew using his unique perspective as a human. One afternoon, as Jason rested in the chamber after a particularly difficult simulation, Viral approached him with a serious expression. "Human, there is something I must tell you. Your abilities, they may not remain unnoticed forever. Other species in this sector, those with ambitions and power, will see you as a threat or a tool. Your presence here could change alliances, economies, even wars." Jason's eyes widened. "A threat, a tool? I'm just a guy from Earth. I didn't ask for this." "No, but the galaxy will interpret you differently," Viral said. "Humans are rare, your species is resilient, and you are extraordinary. That combination can be dangerous to some and invaluable to others." Jason thought for a moment. He had always believed humans were ordinary, fragile creatures, yet here he was, being told that he might influence the galaxy's balance of power. "So, I'm important," he said quietly. "In ways you cannot yet imagine," Viral replied. "Your species has potential, not only in endurance or survival, but in leadership, ingenuity, and resilience. If humans learn to master these abilities, you may surpass expectations, beyond what any alien civilization predicts." Jason felt a strange sense of pride. For the first time, he realized that being human meant more than just surviving on Earth. Humans were underestimated, yet their potential was immense. He thought of his family, his friends, and the billions of people on Earth who might never leave their planet. Yet somewhere out here, humans could achieve greatness that no one, including aliens, could predict. The next weeks brought new challenges. Jason was sent on exploratory missions to nearby planets. He faced harsh weather, alien predators, and treacherous landscapes. Each time his body adapted, his mind solved problems, and he returned stronger and wiser. Viral monitored each mission remotely, marveling at how humans could endure and thrive where advanced aliens struggled. On one mission, Jason encountered a sentient plant species capable of manipulating energy fields. Other Xylari explorers had failed to communicate with it. Jason, relying on patience, observation, and intuition, discovered a way to convey intent using simple gestures and sounds. The plant responded positively, allowing safe passage and revealing hidden resources. When Jason returned, Viral's praise was genuine. "Your ingenuity, your empathy, combined with your resilience, it is astonishing. Humans may appear simple, but your adaptability and intelligence surpass expectations." Jason laughed softly. "I guess humans aren't as weak as some think." "No," Viral said, smiling. "In fact, your species may be underestimated in ways that will surprise the galaxy. And you are a perfect example of that truth." By the end of the part, Jason had not only proven his physical resilience but also his mental strength, leadership, and problem-solving abilities. The Zalari crew began to see humans not as fragile beings, but as capable, adaptable, and extraordinary allies. Viral, recording her final notes for the cycle, looked at Jason with a mixture of admiration and awe. Perhaps, humanity will teach the galaxy something it has forgotten, that true strength is not just in power but in resilience, adaptability, and courage. And you, human, embody that perfectly. Jason, exhausted yet proud, realized that his journey had only just begun. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and unknowns, but humans had an advantage no one could predict. And maybe, just maybe, Earth's representatives could change the course of galactic history. The galaxy was larger than Jason had ever imagined, filled with countless star systems, alien civilizations, and mysteries beyond human comprehension. Yet in the months aboard the Xylar research vessel, he had proven that humans were capable of far more than the aliens, or even he himself, had expected. His body adapted, his mind solved impossible problems, and his instincts guided him through challenges that would have defeated other species. But now, the real test had arrived. Word of Jason's abilities had reached the neighboring systems. A coalition of advanced alien species, each wary of humanity's potential, was planning an interception. They did not understand humans, and in their fear, they saw Jason as a threat, a wild card that could disrupt the delicate balance of galactic power. Viral approached him in the ship's command center, her antennas trembling slightly. Jason, intelligence reports indicate that a fleet from the Jarek Dominion is approaching. They are powerful, highly advanced, and they see your species as unpredictable. They may attempt to intercept or challenge us. Jason studied the holographic display of incoming vessels. The fleet was massive, larger than any he had ever seen, yet he did not panic. He felt the lessons of months of adaptation, exploration, and training, the human advantage of resilience and ingenuity. "Viral, what are our options?" he asked. "We can try diplomacy," she replied cautiously. "But the Jarek do not respond easily to negotiation. They trust strength and evidence of capability. Your uniqueness may be the deciding factor." Jason took a deep breath. "Then we show them what humans can do, not with weapons, but with skill, adaptability, and strategy." Over the next hours, the Xyler crew worked alongside Jason to prepare for the arrival of the Jarek fleet. He devised plans that combined human intuition with alien technology, finding ways to optimize energy shields, navigation systems, and environmental simulations. His ideas often seemed simple to the aliens, yet they were effective beyond expectation. When the fleet finally appeared on the ship's sensors, Jason stood at the command console. The Jarek vessels loomed, sleek and menacing, their energy signatures overwhelming. They communicated a simple, clear message: "Surrender the human, resistance is futile." Jason's voice, calm and firm, echoed through the bridge. "We will not surrender. But we are willing to demonstrate why humans deserve recognition, not through fear, but through intelligence and action." The Jarek hesitated, unprepared for such a response. Most species reacted to threats with aggression or submission, but humans were unpredictable. That unpredictability was an advantage Jason would exploit. He directed the Xyler ship to execute a series of maneuvers designed to demonstrate human ingenuity. Using minimal energy, they created holographic decoys of the vessel, misleading the Jarek sensors. Jason predicted their tactical response and adjusted in real time, directing the ship through asteroid fields and gravitational anomalies that would have disabled any other crew. The Jarek fleet struggled to anticipate his actions. Every move Jason made showcased not brute strength, but human adaptability, quick thinking, and resilience. Ships that were meant to trap them found empty space. Energy weapons fired at decoys wasted their power. Environmental hazards meant to slow pursuit became tools for strategic advantage. Viral watched in awe. "He anticipates and adapts faster than our simulations can process." "Truly extraordinary." Jason nodded, focusing on the task. For him, it was not just survival, it was a demonstration of humanity. If aliens could see what humans were capable of without misunderstanding it as aggression, perhaps his species could earn respect, and maybe even allies. Hours passed in a tense ballet of strategy and movement. The Jarek fleet began to recognize that the human was not ordinary. Their communications shifted from threats to cautious queries. "Explain your advantage, human. Why do you act differently than all known species?" Jason took a measured pause, then replied with clarity. "Humans survive. We adapt. We endure. We think, feel, and act as one with our instincts. You may call it unpredictable. I call it resilience. It is not power alone, but the ability to respond, to endure, and to learn in every moment." There was silence on the comms. The aliens did not fully understand, yet they could perceive the truth in his words. The humans' actions had demonstrated more than any weapon could. Humans were not weak, fragile, or insignificant. Viral, beside him, recorded the entire exchange. She could feel history being made. The galaxy was witnessing something unprecedented, a human standing unarmed yet unbowed, proving that the species' strength lay not in destruction, but in survival, intelligence, and adaptability. Over the next cycle, Jason negotiated with the Jarek fleet. He proposed cooperative exploration, shared research, and joint missions, emphasizing trust, ingenuity, and mutual respect rather than dominance. His strategies, informed by human perspective and Zalari technology, impressed the Jarek Council. Slowly, what began as a threat transformed into curiosity, then cautious alliance. When the negotiations concluded, the Jarek left not as conquerors but as tentative partners. The galaxy had seen that humans, though underestimated, could change the balance of power with their abilities alone. And Jason, standing with Viral and the Xyler crew, felt a deep sense of pride, not for himself, but for humanity. Viral approached him, her antennas quivering with excitement and relief. "Jason, your species, it is remarkable. I doubted humans could compete with other advanced civilizations, yet you have proven they can. Not through weapons, not through brute force, but through intelligence, resilience, and courage. Truly, humans are extraordinary." Jason smiled. "I never thought of it that way. I always thought humans were ordinary, but maybe being underestimated is our greatest advantage." Viral nodded. "Perhaps. The galaxy will remember this day, and perhaps your example will inspire humans to reach farther than they ever imagined." In the days that followed, Jason continued his missions with the Xyler crew, exploring new worlds, documenting alien species, and proving the capabilities of humanity. Everywhere he went, he demonstrated that humans could endure extreme environments, solve complex problems, and adapt in ways that no alien had predicted. Word of his deeds spread quietly at first, then more broadly. Humans became respected not for their numbers, not for their technology, but for their resilience, ingenuity, and the ability to adapt in every situation. Other species, once dismissive, began to treat humans with curiosity, caution, and eventually, admiration. Jason thought often of Earth, of the people who had never left their home planet, yet whose potential was limitless. He realized that humans had an edge in the galaxy, not because of weapons or fleets, but because of their adaptability, courage, and ability to thrive where others struggled. And as he looked out at the stars from the bridge of the Xyler ship, he felt a deep connection to his species. Humans were fragile, yes, in many ways, but fragile in one dimension and resilient in another. They could endure, innovate, and adapt beyond expectation. They could survive storms, alien predators, and impossible odds. Jason turned to Viral. "You know, maybe humans don't just survive. Maybe we change the galaxy too." Viral's eyes shimmered. "I believe you will, not just you, Jason, but all humans. One day, your species will show the galaxy that strength is not measured by weaponry or dominance, but by courage, ingenuity, and the will to endure." For the first time, Jason truly understood. Humanity's greatest power was not in technology, not in numbers, and not even in strategy. It was in the human spirit, the ability to face the unknown, adapt to any challenge, and emerge stronger every time. The galaxy was vast, dangerous, and full of mysteries. But humans had a gift no alien could predict: resilience, intelligence, and the courage to explore, endure, and thrive. And Jason, as the first human in this sector, had proven it to the universe. With the stars stretching endlessly ahead, he knew that this was only the beginning. Humanity would venture farther, endure greater challenges, and rise to heights that no one, not even the most advanced civilizations, had imagined. And the galaxy, finally, would recognize that humans were extraordinary.